This is Alan Smith, and today I'd like to share with you some things I see. About every week I run into I get several calls or emails from folks, usually sellers, who are wanting to buy another great home down here in Southwest Florida, but they're having problems selling their home up north, whether or not it's in Ohio or Canada or the UK, or sometimes they're just sellers having a difficult time selling their homes down here in Southwest Florida. Since I'm an expired listing specialist, meaning that I get a lot of my business from selling the homes that other agents can't or don't sell, I've gained in 20 plus years of experience a very unique way of figuring out why those homes don't sell. It usually only takes me about 20 or 30 minutes to figure out exactly why your home's not selling. And of those things, I found that sellers usually commonly make 10 mistakes. So I thought I'd go over the 10 biggest selling mistakes sellers make and how to avoid them. And I've prepared this in a brochure, and I'd be more than happy to email it to you, but I'm going to let you go over it with me. So let's get started. The 10 biggest selling mistakes I see and how you can avoid them are just these. Mistake number one, the wrong price. This is usually the number one biggest thing, and I'll go over price with you in much more detail shortly. I'm going to go over this brochure fairly quick to give me time to go over the pricing. Number two, as is condition. Number three, curb appeal. Number four, dreary dungeon cells. In other words, you want to have your home clean, bright, and airy, and also make it so that it has the best curb appeal of all the homes that are like your home, which is going to be your competition. Lavishly over-improving is mistake number five. A lot of people get a little carried away in their fix-up, where your house needs to be like a model home. You don't want to go in and remodel kitchens and put in a whole bunch of expensive remodels other than maybe a roof or those things that need to be done, as you won't get every dollar out of them that you put into them. And there's no sense spending $20,000 into your home only to get $5,000 or $6,000 or maybe $10,000 back out when you sell it. That doesn't make a lot of sense, and I can help you make those decisions. Number six is inflexible financing. Number seven is the general clutter syndrome. In other words, going at it alone like General Custer would invite disaster, but you need to know that you've got a lot of agents that know what they're doing, so they're going to be bringing qualified buyers to your home to do it. And having one person be specialized in helping you get equipped with this is the best way to do it. Mistake number eight, always being underfoot. And those are the sellers who always want to be around during the open houses, or they want to be available when the home is being shown, or they're for sale by owners who always want to follow buyers around. That makes buyers feel uneasy. They want to rush through your house and get moved on, and actually you want them to move in, sit down on the couch, and actually feel like this is their home. Mistake number nine, putting up your dukes. In other words, when you get an offer in, you get you get offended by it, or you want to fight it out and negotiate like you're Donald Trump. That never works very well. Mistake number 10 is letting a buyer's contract languish. One of the first important moves you can make is to reply immediately. When a buyer wants to buy, they're hungry for a sale, they're interested in buying your home, they're wanting to move forward, and by dragging your feet or taking time to think about it or not responding back right away gives a signal of disrespect, and that you maybe be unmotivated, and then buyers will want to work. So those are the biggest 10 mistakes you get, with pricing being number one. So let's go over pricing here real quick. I prepared this information for that 7 things that every seller needs to know before pricing your home for sale. And I'm going to let you read this with me so that you can really get an idea of this. I found in this market taking a more methodical or statistical approach to selling works much better for the clients I represent. We all wish we had a crystal ball to use in making such decisions as selling a home. But the truth is, I have something much better: statistics and market stats. As your agent, I closely monitor trends happening now and historically. I then can give you a pretty accurate idea of what's going to happen, if you'll listen to me, of course. Do you want to know when to sell? Or how about when to buy? Or do you wonder how long until my home gets back up to the money I bought it for, or up to a certain price that I want to get? These are all really easy to answer, and I'm happy to show you exactly how to do this. Before you put your home on the market, pricing is always the biggest discussion because it's the most important. We already know you don't want to give it away, and nor do we want to. If you think about it, the more we sell your home for, the more money both of us makes, right? So it's extremely important to separate the emotion of seeing or hearing a price that you aren't expecting and the reality of what it's going to take to get the job done. There's not an agent in the real estate business today that wouldn't love to sell your home for more money. But pricing your home to sell in today's market simply means being ultra competitive. That doesn't mean you're giving it away. You do need to be the #1 or #2 best priced home in your particular category in the market, or it simply is not going to sell. It is my honest belief that marketed correctly, your home will sell in 60 days or less, really 30 days, but more on that later. If your home is not selling and it's been on the market for longer than 30 or 60 days, there's only 3 reasons it did not sell. I specialize in selling the homes that other agents do not, and after 20 years of specializing in selling expired listings, I have developed a unique ability to identify the problems pretty quickly. In 20 plus years, I have sold every saleable listing I have ever taken. Now, I don't tell you that to boast, but when I have a seller whose home is not sold, there's always one of only 3 things. The biggest mistake I see is sellers who choose an agent based on the price that the agent told them their home was worth. This is a huge mistake, but unfortunately very common. Here are the things you should find out from your agent before settling on a price. #1, the actual number of homes that are selling in your area. Whether it's your specific subdivision, zip code, or county, whatever radius makes sense in comparison to your home, it's so easy to get an opinion from an inactive agent, a friend, or a neighbor with limited information that's completely off and not reality-based. Too often I'll call a seller whose listing has expired and hear, well, nothing is selling, that's the reason my home hasn't sold, it's not a good time, the market's bad. I always ask where they got that information from. Usually it's from a limited source like their friends, the neighbors, or most likely the news. Recently, a seller said to me the market was dead. When I told him how many homes actually did sell while his home was on the market in his own community, he was astonished. His perception was completely off. Make your decisions with actual numbers, not perceptions or opinions, especially when I can give you all of the figures to base your correct pricing on. Understand the meaning of days on the market. Pay close attention to the homes in your area that sell quickly. What did they do differently? Chances are it's pricing right from the beginning. I would bet I can show you pages of homes that eventually sold after years on the market and multiple price reductions, which cost the sellers thousands of dollars. Without exception, homes that take longer to sell start much higher, have multiple price reductions, and finally sell for way less than what they should have, and that is not including the holding costs like the mortgage, the insurance, taxes, and the loss of funds. What I mean by loss of funds is that the money you could have made or the things you could have done with that money had you sold it in the first 30 days. Because actually, if you don't have the cash to move forward, you're taking a loss. Using the same strategy those sellers did will only get you the same result. You've heard the definition of insanity, right? Although most agents do not know or understand the market, there are some basic statistics that every agent should know and provide to you to help you price your home effectively. And these are here. How many properties are currently for sale? How many sell each month? How many months of inventory does your area have? How many new listings enter the market each month? What percentage of homes listed are distress sales? What percentage of homes sold are distress sales? What month of the year do most homes get listed? What month do most homes sell? I can provide you this information immediately and explain to you how much the answer to each one of these questions really does affect your home. You should also be aware of the foreclosure activity relative to your home. How many foreclosed homes are currently listed that will be your direct competition, and how many recently sold? Be aware that in a normal market, an appraiser is not permitted to use a distress sale as a comparable because it's considered abnormal circumstances. Not so or true today. Appraisers are not required to use these comparables, yet in some cases can avoid using them either. When I provide you with this data, please know that appraisers have the same information. Even if a buyer is found who's willing to pay more for your home, the appraisal could stop the deal in its tracks, and it usually does. These homes are your competition, not only in the selection process of a buyer, but in the lending appraisal process as well. You can't ignore them. Even smart all-cash buyers will go by the appraisal. Another thing, buyers always buy a year forward, meaning they look forward a year to what the value of your home will be worth. This is true in a rising market or in a dropping market. So to properly price your home today, you need to be priced at what your home will really be worth next year. Think like a buyer, in other words. Have a good understanding of what's called search psychology. There is a method to the madness of searching for homes for sale. If you price your home at $359,000, there's a good chance a buyer won't even find it. A buyer is more likely to search for easy numbers. They'll do a search up to $350,000 and never even see your home. And on the ones that are looking up to $400,000, people always like the nicer homes in the price range. So they'll look at the ones at $380,000 to $350,000. $380,000 to $400,000 and not the bottom ones at $359,000. On the other hand, if a buyer is looking for a home from $350,000 to $375,000 and your home does come up, you need to be very clear what else is coming up on that search. If there are 15 choices and the other homes have more features and benefits, you won't even make the list and you're going to get thrown in the other agent's trash can. When we recommend $349,000, trying to squeeze out the extra $10,000 will only most likely cost you well more than that in the end. I promise. I see it all of the time. Number 6, understand these conversations with you are anything but easy for us. When I got into real estate, I never pictured having sellers cry, scream, hang up, knock over chairs, get upset, all because of my listing presentation and that I'm trying my best to help them sell their home. I really only have your best interest in mind. But at that point, I have two options when we work together to sell your home and on the listing presentation. I can tell you what you want to hear, like most agents will do, and get you no results 6 months later, and then you're unhappy with me. Or I can take a small chance of you getting upset with me by delivering you the truth and actually get your home sold so you can get where you want to go. Which is better for you? That's fun. What's funny here is that sellers always ask me, or they tell me that they want the truth, but I often see that they only want me to tell them what they want to hear, evidenced by the fact that often they list with someone else at a higher price and then their home never sells. Often these same sellers call me back later to actually sell their home, but by then their home is stale and their choice costs them thousands. Don't you make the same mistake. I always choose the second option, and it has cost me listings. But I choose the second option because I care about my clients, and I won't lie just to make you happy. If you meet with 2 or 3 agents, generally both are going to suggest a price that is really too high and won't get your home sold. Remember the adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Unless the agent with the high price is offering gold bars to the buyer, it's not going to sell for higher than the comps show. And last but not least, have your agent or myself give you a very clear picture of exactly what's happening and how long the recovery will take. In this case, if you were thinking this, it's not going to be better in 6, 12, 18, or 24 months from now, at least not in this market, time is not your friend right now. If you need to sell, waiting will only cost you money. If you decide to wait it out, understand it's not going to be fast. Right now in my area, there's a 14-month supply of homes for sale. That means if there wasn't one other home listed, it would take 14 months to sell everything currently for sale. Well, guess what? Each month we have about 180 to 200 new listings. Explain to me how waiting is going to help you. In many areas, you need to be prepared for 5 to 7 or even 10 years more if you want to get more for the home than you can sell it for today. If you are one of those thinking, well, we'll just wait it out a year or two, I have a really great way that I can show you almost to a T exactly what your home will be worth for the next several years. Just ask me to show you. The bottom line is your decision now should not be whether or not to sell. The question really needs to be, do I want to keep this home for the next 7 years only to sell it for the same amount as I can sell it for today? If the answer to that question is no, I don't want to own this home for 7 years just to sell it for the same price as now, then, you need to sell. Does that make any sense? Selecting the right agent is critically important. Selecting the right price is even more so. I'd be happy to walk you through the process, show you all the facts, and to make the best, so that you can make the best decision and get your home sold for top market value. You'll be very happy you did as you watch the sold sign from the rearview mirror of the moving truck. Thank you all today for allowing me to spend the time with you, and I look forward to working with you, and I hope this helps you sell your home, whether it be in Southwest Florida or up north, wherever you are at. This is Alan Smith from Southwest Florida. You have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.